A big hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here in London and specifically I've come to Temple because my plan is to visit Temple Church and learn a little bit about one of our country's greatest knights, William Marshall. And I'm joined here with a very special guest. I have Cara from Open Minded Wanderer. Now, I've been following Cara for a while now and we share so many interests. We both love the Neolithic and the Bronze Age, and I'm certainly an avid fan of her channel, and she's right next to me now. Here's Cara, everybody.
Hi.
And we're both going to be exploring Temple Church together.
We are indeed.
And we're looking forward to it, aren't we?
I'm very excited, I have to say.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Certainly a lovely area of London, isn't it? Oh, there she is, Temple Church. Okay, everybody, Cara and I are just coming up to Temple Church now. It's just there in front of us. Cara, like myself, has a big interest in history, especially prehistory. Today, however, we are not going that far back in time, but instead we are going to delve into a little medieval history. But why have we chosen London? There are lots of incredible medieval locations scattered throughout England, but London is home to the medieval district of Temple, which is why London has been chosen as our go-to destination for today's video. Temple, during the Middle Ages, was the headquarters of a Knights Templar in England and represented a major centre of Templar thought and influence. The area still retains some of its medieval features, including cobbled narrowed streets and the famous Templar Round Church. As a consequence, the historic backdrop of Temple makes for a fantastic filming location. The ancient buildings, those gaslit cobbled streets, have been used in movies such as The Wolfman, The Da Vinci Code, Shakespeare in Love, Elizabeth, and Sherlock Holmes. But we are not here for the Hollywood movies. We are here for the famous Templar Round Tower and a very famous knight, often regarded as the most famous knight to have ever lived, William Marshall, Earl of Pembroke. Now, his effigy can be found inside the church, and he is also buried there, buried as a simple Knights Templar. Although William Marshall was far from being a simple knight. He was born around 1146 and the second son of John Marshall, a trusted knight of Norman ancestry, and Sybil, who was sister of Patrick, Earl of Salisbury. Being a younger son, William did not inherit his father's titles or money, and so becoming a knight was to be expected. William was duly sent off to Normandy to be trained by the hereditary chamberlain of the region, William of Tankerville, and was eventually knighted in the year 1167. 3 years later, William Marshall was appointed head of the military household of Prince Henry, the young son of King Henry II of England. Unfortunately, Prince Henry died in 1183. Now, William was actually the man who knighted this young prince, and as a result, William became his lord in chivalry. William was a powerful man who fared well in the tournaments. And his time with Prince Henry allowed him to increase his influence with those of court, who would also prosper in the years that followed. So upset was Marshal at the death of Prince Henry, he obtained permission from the king to take Henry's cross to Jerusalem. There he spent 2 years fighting for the king of Jerusalem, who at the time was Guy of Lusignan. It was almost certain that William became acquainted with the Knights Templar. During his time in Jerusalem in the year 1187, William was granted his first land, a fief, directly from the king. Upon accepting this gift, William Marshal declared his loyalty to Henry II and his rightful successors. This promise was never forgotten, and is one of the reasons that William Marshal himself is still remembered to this day. When Henry II's son, Richard I, came to the throne, William Marshal continued to prosper. He was a counsellor, advisor, brother-at-arms and confidant to the new vigorous king. So much did Richard trust his brother Templar that he bestowed upon him the hand of Isabel de Clare, who was the only surviving child of Richard Strongbow de Clare, Earl of Pembroke. With this marriage, William became one of the most powerful barons in England, with lands in England, Wales, Ireland and France. William ruled his lands well, but unlike many of the barons of the time, he never forgot his oath of loyalty to his direct feudal lord, Richard I. Nor did William merely sit on his vast estates, but rather ran them efficiently. With the death of Richard the Lionheart in 1199, England was thrown into ferment regarding the succession. William considered Richard's brother John to have the best claim to the throne, and duly bowed his knee to a man who was to use this loyal knight falsely. King John proved to have absolutely no ability to either ally himself with or control the by now powerful barons of England, many of whom rebelled during John's unfortunate reign. John took action against many by either imprisoning them, confiscating their land, removing their titles and even murdering some. William Marshal stood strong and remained loyal to King John, even though the king did all he could to provoke him, taking his castles and even seizing his 2 sons as hostages. It was a time of unrest, a period of history known as the First Barons' War. There is little doubt that if William Marshal had sided with the rebelling barons, King John would have lost his crown for sure, and undoubtedly his life. But the Earl of Pembroke never wavered and gained tremendous respect from friends and enemies alike. William Marshal was present at Runnymede on the 15th of June 1215 when Magna Carta was signed by the barons. King John died in 1216, and his heir and son, aged only 9 at the time, became Henry III. William Marshal was unanimously chosen as regent of the young monarch, a position which he filled without prejudice or expectation. By May 1217, Marshal was the chief architect of victory in the war against King Philip II of France. This magnificent man led an attack which relived the siege of Lincoln Castle. Despite being 70 years of age, he was able to negotiate a peace treaty with the French and restored England to peace once more. William Marshal was a true knight, honourable, trusting, and a ferocious fighting machine. By the end of his life, his accumulated titles and accolades could fill a page on their own, and yet it is said he remained ever humble, espousing by his life the best values enshrined in the Order of the Knights Templar. William Marshal, Earl of Pembroke, and Lord Regent of England, died on May 14th in the year 1219 at the age of 73 years, and was buried as a simple knight of the Temple. The round church was built to be London's Jerusalem, and it was here that the Magna Carta was negotiated. For me, however, the greatest aspect of this incredible, beautiful building is that man who is buried there. His effigy has survived centuries, and his story will live forever. William Marshal, the Earl of Pembroke, the greatest knight to have ever lived.
Okay everybody, a big thank you from Cara from Open Minded Wanderer and myself, Stephen and Jana. We've all met up here at Trafalgar Square. Jana's been making her own videos. She went to Hamley's Toy Shop in Regent Street, and me and Cara have just finished at Temple Church.
We have indeed.
And we've had an amazing time. Okay everybody, a big thank you for joining us, and we will all see you soon. So bye for now. Bye everybody. Bye.